Hi guys, it's Hetox. So if you ever wish there was an easy way to become rich that anyone could do with no prior experience, well, guess what there is, and I've made millions doing it myself. But before you click off thinking this is some kind of scam, I'm not pumping the latest crypto coin or trying to sell you an online course that costs $997. I'm instead referring to index funds. Index fund investing is super easy, incredibly effective, and in most cases actually ends up beating the profits of professional investors. A study published in 2020 showed over a 15-year period, nearly 90% of actively managed investment funds failed to beat the market. Simply put, experts who spend a full-time job trying to beat the market are unable to beat most investors that use the index fund strategy. So today, let's discuss what an index fund actually is, which ones are best for you, and how you can use them to grow your wealth right after you smash that like button for the LTube algorithm. I'm gonna be honest, I almost didn't make this video. The world has changed over the last couple of years, and now most people only seem interested in the stocks and crypto going to the moon. I get it, it's exciting to see your money multiplied quickly, but the harsh truth is lots of people who invest in more than I can afford to lose him risky investments. This means that when a crash happens, and believe me, it always does, many people will be left with nothing. I've seen this happen time and time again, and the people that make it through the storm are usually the ones that also invest for the long term. Of course, I've taken my fair share of risks over the years, like investing in a dot-com bubble and now by investing in the metaverse. However, the one thing I've kept consistent is my index fund invested. No matter if the market is up or down every week, I prioritize those investments. This is allowing me to grow my wealth over the long term, when a lot of my previously richer friends have lost everything. So, I like to think of index funds as my secret weapon, as they've meant that I've always had a backup for when the worst happens. If you only ever watch one of my videos all the way through to the end, and it definitely should be this one. So it's been a while since I've talked about index funds. So, let's break down what they actually are. Skittles Chink. Think of these Skittles as lots of different individual companies. This one is Tesla, this one is Apple, and this one is Coca-Cola. Now, as an investor, you could cherry pick the ones that you like the most. This is called investing in individual stocks. However, these companies go bankrupt or crashing value. You're in trouble, mind you. I do like the new sour Skittles, they're very tasty. The great thing about index funds is with one simple purchase, you can own all the Skittles in the bowl without having to deal with all the hassle. Background music fades in. Now that we know what index funds are, let's delve into why they're so fantastic. Sound of coins dropping. First off, index funds are cost-effective. Buying individual stocks can be expensive, especially when you add in transaction fees. But with index funds, you're buying a slice of the entire market, which spreads out the costs and makes it a more economical choice. Clinking of glass. Secondly, they offer diversification and reduce risk. Remember our Skittles analogy? If you only invest in one or two Skittles, you're at a higher risk if those Skittles go sour. But if you own a little piece of all the Skittles, your risk is spread across the whole bowl. This means even if one or two companies perform poorly, your overall portfolio won't be greatly affected. Faint clock ticking. Lastly, they're easy to manage and require less time and effort. There's no need to constantly monitor the market or to make difficult decisions about when to buy or sell. Once you've invested in an index fund, you can pretty much sit back and let it do its thing. Sound of a sigh of relief. So you see, index funds can be a great addition to your investment portfolio. They offer a simple, cost-effective way to spread your risk and potentially grow your wealth over time. And the best part? You can enjoy all these benefits without having to become a stock market expert. Background music fades out. Background music fades in. Alright, so you're convinced. But how do you actually start investing in index funds? Sound of a car engine starting? Let's break it down into 4 simple steps. First, choose a brokerage account. This is like your home base for investing. There are plenty of options available, some with minimum investment requirements and others without. Do your research and choose the one that aligns best with your financial goals. Sound of pages flipping. Next, decide on the index fund you want to invest in. There are many out there, each tracking a different index. Some track large companies, some track small companies, and others track international markets. Choose an index fund that aligns with your investment strategy and risk tolerance. Sound of a compass needle moving. Third, determine how much you want to invest. This can be as little or as much as you want, depending on your financial situation and investment goals. Remember, it's not about how much you start with, but rather that you start at all. Sound of coins dropping. Finally, make the purchase and monitor your investment. Once you've made your purchase, you can pretty much sit back and let your money work for you. However, it's still a good idea to check in on your investments from time to time to ensure they're performing as expected. Sound of a heartbeat monitor. And voila! You're now an index fund investor. See? It's not as complicated as it may seem. With index funds, you can start investing in the stock market without having to be an expert. So, what are you waiting for? Start your investing journey today. Background music fades out. Background music fades in. Before we wrap up, there's a crucial part of this journey we need to address. Just like any other venture, investing in index funds has its pitfalls. Let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid to ensure your journey is smooth sailing. Sound of a warning bell. First up, not diversifying your portfolio. While index funds are inherently diversified, it doesn't mean you should put all your eggs in one basket. Consider investing in several different index funds to spread out your risk. Sound of dice rolling. Second, investing all your money at once. This is known as lump sum investing, and while it can be beneficial in some cases, it can also lead to significant losses if the market takes a downturn shortly after you invest. Instead, consider dollar cost averaging, which involves investing a fixed amount regularly, regardless of the market conditions. This can help mitigate the impact of market volatility. Sound of a roller coaster. Third, not understanding the index fund you're investing in. Remember, each index fund tracks a different index, and these indices can vary greatly in their composition and risk level. Take the time to understand what you're investing in. You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its features, right? Sound of a car horn. Avoid these mistakes and you're well on your way to successful index fund investing. Remember, the goal isn't to get rich quick, but to build wealth over the long term.